Hey toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. Today we're taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified series Scarlett. Here we've got the first lady of G.I. Joe out of the package. I think they did a nice job on her head sculpt. I love how there's a few flyaway hairs in her ponytail. And the little bit of paintwork on her hair really helps make it pop a little bit. So I kind of want to talk about Scarlett's accessory piece here first, because when I took her out of the package, I started wondering if this was put on her upside down in the factory. I know you could pull a knife out of a sheath upside down, but will the arrows stay in a quiver, or these bolts, will they stay in this thing when she wears it upside down? Plus, if she's right-handed and is holding her crossbow, she can't easily draw more bolts. As I was looking at this accessory more, I noticed the slit in the top, and I just stuck her knives in here because I didn't know what to do with them. And then while looking at some publicity photos online from Hasbro later, I did notice one of them showed a knife sticking over her shoulder. So I guess I did this right, even though I don't think it was super self-explanatory. So Scarlett has orange hair here with the ponytail. It does occasionally interfere with moving her head around, but not too bad. She's got the pivot point of the ball joint, but there's also a hinge up there you can see there, which gives her additional range of motion. She also has a joint lower down in the neck, which is hidden nicely by her uniform. At the shoulders here, she has a slight butterfly joint in the chest that lets her shoulders move forward and backwards, but then she has a rotation and hinge in the shoulders. This arm has a shoulder pad that hinders the arm going up. This one does not have one, but it also cannot go up all the way. You have to rotate her arms around if you want to raise them up to the air. She has single jointed elbows, which can rotate. They do kind of bump into her pads, I guess her gloves do, so they don't just spin all the way around, which is not necessary anyway, but I'm just kind of noting that. And then she has wrist articulation that allows her hands to spin. In the torso here, she has a joint in the upper chest as well as in the waist, which lets her body move around for posing pretty nicely. She has a belt piece here that dangles over the top of her pants, which can rotate there. And then she has hip joints that let her move her legs forward and backwards a little bit and out to the side some. There is a swivel in the thigh, double jointed knees. Got a lot of padding down here in these techno boots. And then her ankles can move forward and backwards and out to the sides a little bit. It's a decent range of articulation, maybe slightly less than the males, but of course, a lot of times articulation really breaks up the sculpt, and on the feminine characters, they like to keep that sculpt looking nice. I did mention this piece of web gear already that has a slight paint app to it there. It looks pretty decent. I would kind of like to see it turned around, but I haven't gone to the trouble of popping her head off and flipping it to see if I like it better. Her gloves have little throwing stars on this arm, which is a great callback to the original figure. Her other arm does not have a little pistol sculpted on it, though, like she originally had as a small detail on her original figure. I like the little star logo there, and I think it's great how her pants have this gray and red pattern to them. There's just a lot of nice little details on this figure. For accessories, Scarlett comes with 3 knives. This one has a unique handle, so this is the one I plug into the holster on her chest, while these ones get plugged into the holster on her back. Then, shall we call it, her signature accessory is her crossbow. It comes in 2 pieces, which I get is important for molding, but I kind of wish they'd just put a dab of glue on it. Anytime they've made a modern crossbow for Scarlett, it's always just a pain in the butt and falls apart constantly. Looks like there's a little clip here for the string to go in, and maybe if I do that, that'll help it stay together. I just have it fall apart a lot, and I think it looks like a broken Stormtrooper pistol like this without the cross part. I know all the market research says that boys won't buy female action figures, but as a kid, due to the solid writing of this character in the Marvel comic and the Sunbow cartoon series, I wanted a Scarlett figure so bad. But because I got into G.I. Joe late, at the end of '85, beginning of the '86 line, there were no Scarletts to be found. And I looked and looked and looked at yard sales as a kid, which is where I got a lot of my vintage G.I. Joes. And it took me years to find one. I was literally an adult collector. So I'm really glad that they made a Scarlett early on in this line. It does give them a good female base for building other characters. I definitely feel like with the high-tech boots and other details like that, this body could be perfect for making a Agent Helix, which is also a popular female character who's a newer character to the line. And I could totally see her getting made in this Classified series down the road. I do have a little bit of trouble getting Scarlett to stand between her hips and her feet. There's just something going on there that throws her off balance. I think my other only real complaint may be that the color scheme is so broken up. Got gray and tan and red and purple, which are all colors that we've seen in Scarlett's outfit over the years. But it's really broken up. It's in small little sections here and there, making for kind of a mix mash. I don't know, maybe a little bit less wild of a paint scheme would make this figure even a little bit better. But overall, I think she's pretty great, and I'm really glad that we've gotten this character early on in this lineup. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous toy review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos.